truck drove for a long time and eventually arrived at a lumber yard. It turned out to be a black factory that specialized in kidnapping people to use as free labor. The next day, Adi woke up still confused about what had happened, only to have a foot stomped on his face.
Mulai sekarang, ini rumahmu. Kamu bangun, kerja, makan, pulang, ngising di sini. Paham?
Hussein quickly stood up and pushed the man away, but the man pulled out a gun. Another round of beating followed. Fortunately, a man named Booty came to their defense and quickly led Adi and Hussein to work. Adi learned from Booty that they were in a remote black market logging camp deep in the mountains. Every guard was armed, and any sign of disobedience or laziness would result in a beating. Being shot and killed on the spot was also a common occurrence. Booty had had enough of this place. He had secretly mapped out an escape route, while Adi and Hussein were eating.
2 hari yang lalu, ada temanku berhasil kabur dari sini.
Hah? Caranya?
Setelah semua orang tidur, dia kabur lewat pagar seng belakang mes yang jebol. Tapi sekarang sudah ditambah lagi.
Berarti kita jebol lagi.
2 workers, unable to bear the situation any longer, attempted to escape. Drawing all the guards' attention, seeing the chaos, Booty knew it was their chance. He immediately tackled a guard. During the struggle, Booty's leg was slashed by the guard. Fortunately, Adi and his friend rushed to help, and together, they subdued the guard and ran toward the forest. The other guards immediately opened fire and chased after them. Due to his injured leg, Booty was moving very slowly. As the guards closed in, the 3 of them hid under a large tree, which unexpectedly saved them. As Adi and Hussein helped Booty to continue fleeing, Booty noticed something strange in the grass.
Lawan hantu. Mbahku dulu cerita, bunga ini dipakai untuk mengobati segala macam penyakit.
Mas pernah lihat orang sebelum pakai bunga itu?
Without hesitation, Booty pressed a flower petal onto his wound, causing him to scream in pain. The noise attracted the attention of the guards. Hussein, seeing that they had been discovered, tried to run away. A guard immediately fired at him. Fortunately, Hussein dodged and continued to escape after a few rolls. When Adi woke up again, he was in a cell. Booty's leg was now rotting, and his whole body was twitching. Adi rushed to check on him. After a violent struggle, Booty collapsed on the ground, lifeless. Adi screamed for help. A guard, annoyed by the noise, came in and beat Adi before checking on Booty. The bitten guard, enraged, kicked Booty in the face several times. Booty stopped moving again. The guards then took Adi to the wilderness to bury the body, hastily digging a pit and burying Booty in it. As they left, Adi noticed something terrifying. Booty had crawled out of the ground. The guards thought Adi was playing some kind of trick and pressed a knife to his throat, ordering him to stay quiet. Unbeknownst to them, Booty had turned into a zombie. By the next day, a passing car hit Booty, who suddenly appeared. The driver quickly got out to check, but the man was knocked to the ground by Booty, while the mother and daughter in the car were terrified. The woman stepped forward to help, but she was also bitten by Booty. The man, wanting to flee without caring for the woman, tried to drive away. Ella, unwilling to leave her mother behind, refused to let him open the car door. Seeing this, the man was so scared that he abandoned the car and ran. Ella attempted to get out of the car to help, but Booty lunged at her. Fortunately, Ella was quick and slipped out the other side, managing to lock Booty inside the car. Ella then took her injured mother and fled into the forest. As Ella didn't know what to do next, her mother's body started twitching uncontrollably. Ella went to check on her but was knocked down by her mother. She used all her strength to push her away. However, her mother, now a zombie, wouldn't let her go. Luckily, the zombie collided with a protruding tree branch. Before long, Booty crawled out of the car and, driven by instinct, made his way to a village. The villagers had no idea danger was approaching, and quickly became Booty's next meal. The virus spread rapidly, and within moments, the villagers turned into zombies as well. At the same time, the guard from the lumber yard who had been bitten by Booty the previous day began to twitch uncontrollably, driven by his bloodlust. He grabbed a knife and headed towards the prison cells. Adi, sensing something was wrong, desperately called for help. But in the middle of the night, no one paid attention. The guard entered the cell and began attacking both the guards and the workers indiscriminately. Adi and several workers took the opportunity to escape the cell and call for help, but the guards chased after them. Other guards attempted to check on the man, only to be bitten on the neck. Before long, the bitten guard turned into a zombie. The lumberyard instantly descended into chaos, with both guards and workers attacked by zombies. Adi was pinned to the ground by the zombies. Just as he was about to be bitten, others arrived just in time to save him. This incident alarmed the boss, Zenal, who came to the logging camp and was shocked by what he saw. To convince Zenal, Purwo shot a zombie.
Lalu apa ini?
Mayat, Pak. Mereka bisa mati kalau kepalanya dihancurin, Pak.
Zenal watched as the shot zombie continued to move aggressively. To test Purwo's claim, Zenal took a pistol and shot a zombie in the head, killing it instantly. To avoid drawing outside attention, Zenal ordered his men to dispose of the zombies quickly. Adi and the workers were locked back in the cell. The workers gathered around Adi, asking how to kill these zombies. No one noticed that a man who had been bitten by a zombie was curled up in the corner. Meanwhile, the zombies in the room were restless. Two men guarding the zombies decided to use knives instead of guns to kill them, even making a bet on who could kill the most. As soon as they opened the cell, they were surrounded by zombies. Screams of agony echoed throughout the camp. While everyone was focused on the small cabin, the person behind them suddenly began to mutate. Hearing the screams, the guards quickly opened the cell door, and the lumberyard fell into chaos again. The terrifying speed of the infection quickly transformed many into zombies, and both workers and guards had to fight desperately to survive. On the other side, after burying her mother, Ella staggered into a nearby village. As she prepared to call for help from a figure in the distance, she was greeted instead by bloodthirsty zombies. Ella grabbed a hoe from the ground and prepared to fight. She aimed for a headshot on the approaching zombies, then picked up a sickle and knocked down the zombies rushing toward her. But there were simply too many zombies. To avoid being surrounded, Ella had no choice but to flee. By accident, she stumbled into a cow shed. The smell of manure masked her scent, and the zombies lost track of her, scattering into disarray. Meanwhile, Adi and a fellow worker took advantage of the chaos to escape from the lumber yard. Luckily, as soon as they reached the road, they spotted a car, the same one Ella's family had been driving. However, the car seemed to be damaged and wouldn't start. The noise attracted two zombies. To buy Rizang some time to start the car, Adi lured the zombies away. Finally, Rizang managed to start the car and ran over one of the zombies, crushing its skull. After dealing with the zombies, the two quickly drove away, eventually arriving at the village that had been attacked by zombies. As they looked at the bodies littering the ground, they were about to turn around and leave, only to find two zombies blocking their path. The zombies quickly lunged at them. The noise attracted more zombies. In their panic, the two hid inside a nearby house, but the door was soon forced open by the zombies. As the situation became dire, suddenly, Ella then grabbed a sickle and killed all the zombies outside. After easily dispatching the zombies, they introduced themselves. With zombies everywhere, the immediate concern was how to escape. The next day, they gathered their weapons and prepared to sneak away. But as soon as they stepped outside, a zombie appeared. Fortunately, Ella was quick and killed it with a single strike. The noise still attracted more zombies, and soon they were surrounded. Luckily, Ella's combat skills were exceptional. They then took refuge inside a car, but unfortunately, it wouldn't start. With another wave of zombies about to attack, They switched to a farm tractor as their new escape plan. Since the tractor took a while to start, Adi used a ladder to block the zombies, and by time, after a while, the tractor finally started, and they drove away, managing to outrun the zombies. Meanwhile, Adi's sister, Maya, was protesting with the villagers against Xenal's atrocities. It turned out that the factory they worked for hadn't paid them their wages. A conflict broke out between the two sides, and the situation quickly descended into chaos. The police arrived on the scene to try to prevent things from escalating. However, they didn't notice that one of the workers from the lumber yard suddenly started bleeding from his nose, twitching uncontrollably before collapsing on the ground. Soon, he transformed into a zombie, and when he got up, he immediately attacked the panicked crowd. Those who were bitten quickly turned into zombies and began attacking others. Meanwhile, things weren't going smoothly for Adi and his group either. As soon as they reached the village exit, they found their path blocked by zombies ahead, with more closing in from behind. With no weapons left, they resorted to using durians from the tractor to attack the zombies. To their surprise, this tactic worked. The pungent smell of the smashed durians masked their human scent, causing the zombies to lose track of them and wander aimlessly. Once again, they narrowly escaped danger. At the protest site, Nami was not only dealing with the factory workers but also had to watch out for zombies attacking from all sides. Unfortunately, Maya ran into a narrow alley, only to be knocked down by a zombie. She used all her strength to kick the zombie away. As the zombie tried to lunge at her again, it was suddenly struck and knocked flying by a passing tractor. It turned out that it was her brother Adi who had arrived. Ella was about to use the stick to finish off the zombie, but was stopped by Maya. Rizang hurriedly explained to Maya that these people had turned into monsters. They had lost their humanity, attacking anyone they saw, and had terrifying infectious capabilities. Only then did Maya realize the severity of the situation. Since Ella was worried about her grandmother's safety, she had to part ways with them. Adi, concerned for her safety, also went after her. The siblings, who had just reunited, were separated once again. Rizang and Maya had planned to find a place to hide, but there were signs of zombies everywhere. Their movements also alerted the zombies that were feasting nearby. Fortunately, they managed to temporarily evade the zombies by hiding behind a makeshift barrier. They ran all the way to a supermarket, but no one would open the door despite their calls. Seeing that the zombies were closing in, a man ignored the others' protests and opened the door for them. Seeing the durians on the ground, Rizang didn't hesitate and threw them outside. The strong smell of the durians disoriented the zombies, causing them to lose track of their targets. The zombies wandered aimlessly for a while before eventually dispersing. Meanwhile, Adi and Ella arrived at her grandmother's house, only to be spotted by zombies. Luckily, her grandmother was unharmed. They were all stunned as they watched the grandmother, holding a spiked club, kill the zombies. On the other side, Xenal, under the cover of his subordinates, began his retreat, but the exit was blocked by zombies, so they had no choice but to turn back and head into the city. They arrived at the supermarket where Maya was. Maya certainly didn't want to let them in, but facing the gun in Xenal's hand, they had no choice but to open the door. Otherwise, a conflict would attract zombies, and they'd all be dead. Maya couldn't take it anymore. She raised her dagger and charged at Xenal. After all, this man was the root cause of everything. Fortunately, Rizang, still keeping his cool, quickly stopped her. He knew that zombies were the biggest threat right now. The sudden outbreak of the zombie virus in the town made the outside world believe that there had been a riot. Now, they had become fugitives, wanted by the government. The only option was for both sides to cooperate for now.
Bapak-bapak, ibu-ibu, sepertinya ini terjadi kesalahpahaman. Percayalah, kami semua di sini berusaha untuk mengatasi situasi ini.
As they were discussing how to escape, two of Xenal's men, desperate to use the bathroom, tried to open the door. A clerk tried to stop them, but it was too late. A zombie suddenly emerged and pounced on one of the men. The others quickly backed away, but the narrow space made it hard to hide, and several people were immediately attacked by zombies. Rizang and Maya were also cornered by zombies. Just as they were about to be overwhelmed, Zenal acted swiftly and killed the zombies. Seeing the man bitten by the zombies, he immediately shot him. The supermarket was no longer safe, so they left under the cover of night and made their way back to the lumberyard. But as soon as they entered the building, they encountered a zombie. Purwo was about to shoot it, but was stopped by Maya. It turned out that this zombie was someone Maya knew when they were alive. So, she stopped the others, rushed forward herself, and took out a knife to kill him directly. Meanwhile, Adi was sleeping when suddenly a hand covered his mouth. A large group of zombies had already surrounded them, and the weak door would soon be broken down. They quickly rushed inside to grab weapons. Ella picked a katana, Adi grabbed a grenade, but his grandmother snatched it away, forcing him to pick up a stick from the ground. Grandmother then led them to the back door. However, after they stepped outside, she shut the door behind them. At that moment, the zombies broke through the main door. Sadly, there were too many zombies, and soon grandmother couldn't hold her ground. Using her last strength, she pulled the pin of the grenade. Just as Adi and Ella were about to leave, a loud explosion echoed from inside the room. Meanwhile, Zenal and the others had planned to head to a nearby estate for help, but they didn't get far before they encountered more zombies. To avoid attracting more zombies with gunshots, they had to use melee weapons. After a tough fight, they finally dealt with the zombies. As they continued, Rizang noticed that Zenal's son, Dandy, was limping. Zenal quickly explained that he had just sprained his ankle. After some time of traveling, the group finally reached the estate. The radio equipment was old and worn, but in Maya's eyes, it could still be repaired. While Rizang and Maya were inside fixing the radio, Zenal checked on his son's injury. It turned out that Dandy hadn't sprained his ankle, he had been bitten by a zombie, and now his mind was beginning to fade. Not wanting to hurt his father, Dandy rushed into the broadcast room. This startled Rizang and Maya, who were repairing the equipment. They quickly realized something was wrong with Dandy. Rizang quietly grabbed a pair of scissors. On the other side, Dandy's body began to convulse, and blood started pouring from his mouth. Rizang managed to restrain Dandy, and Maya seized the opportunity to stab him through the mouth. At that moment, Zenal and his men broke through the door and rushed in. They quickly evacuated the room and locked the now zombified Dandy inside. Zenal fought back his grief and shot Dandy in the head. After the radio was fixed, Zenal contacted the military for help, but they told him the town was now sealed off and no one could enter. But there was still a way out, an underground tunnel dug during the resistance against the Japanese army. The nearest entrance was just 2 kilometers away. With no other option, the group packed up and set off. As they approached the tunnel entrance, the eerie growls of zombies suddenly echoed around them. A horde of zombies emerged and charged toward them. Purwo, having fallen behind, was instantly surrounded by zombies. Rizang held the rotten rabbit in front to lead the way, as the smell would interfere with the zombies' senses. Just as they were about to make their way through the zombie horde, something unexpected happened. They were so focused on moving forward that they didn't notice a zombie lying on the ground. As they tripped, the rabbit was flung aside. Without the stench as protection, the zombies around them quickly became agitated. Fortunately, Maya reacted quickly, grabbing the rabbit's carcass and clutching it in her arms. They narrowly escaped. Unable to break through the zombie encirclement, they had no choice but to retreat back to the tunnel entrance. At that moment, hurried footsteps echoed from inside the tunnel. They immediately prepared for an attack. To their surprise, out came Ella and Adi, followed by Sino, who had also escaped the zombies' encirclement. It turned out that earlier, Adi and Ella had been chased by the zombie horde, just when they were ready to fight to the death. A group of villagers had come to their rescue, using durian to stop the zombies from chasing them. They had also made their way to the tunnel, now surrounded by zombies. They were trapped and unable to escape. Then, Rizang's words sparked an idea in Adi.
Coba aja kita bisa panggil hujan.
Previously, they had encountered zombies in the rain, and the rain had washed away the human scent, causing the zombies to freeze in place. Coincidentally, Adi knew a shaman who could call the rain. If they could make it rain, they would have a chance to escape, so the others waited in place. While Adi and Ella went back to find the shaman, they carefully avoided zombies along the way and managed to reach the shaman's house without incident. But the bad news was that the shaman had already died after the virus outbreak, leaving only her daughter alive. Although the daughter was not as powerful as her mother, after hearing their request, she decided to help. Meanwhile, Daya-Au, in an attempt to escape, deceived the villagers by telling them that zombies feared the color red. A group of villagers, believing her, donned red headscarves and carried red flags as they marched into the streets. Daya-Au used the chaos to board a bus and head for the bridge. Unaware of the deception, the villagers charged at the zombies with reckless enthusiasm. The outcome was predictable. On the other side, the shaman's daughter began her rain-calling ritual, chanting loudly. At that moment, a large group of zombies arrived. In order to buy time for the shaman, Adi and Ella had no choice but to pick up their weapons and block the zombies. Just when they were about to be overwhelmed, the sky darkened, and soon heavy rain began to pour down. As predicted, the rain washed away their scent, and the zombies stopped attacking. After passing through the zombie horde, the group finally saw the bridge leading out of the town, but there were several soldiers guarding the area. To cross the bridge safely, Zenal and Maya came up with a plan. They used a girl as bait and successfully managed to steal a soldier's rifle. Meanwhile, Adi and Ella ran into trouble. They were on their way to meet up with Maya and the others when they ran into zombie booty, and a large horde of zombies appeared behind them. In order to avenge her deceased mother, Ella decided to kill Booty before leaving. However, Booty was no pushover, and after a tough battle, Ella was at a disadvantage. Ella fought with all her strength, using a knife to block Booty's mouth. In the end, Ella succeeded in avenging her mother by finally killing Booty. Meanwhile, Zenal and his group, armed with guns, had also arrived at the bridge. Zenal shot the captain, disabling his ability to fight. But just as they were about to cross the bridge, the captain threatened to detonate a grenade if they came any closer. Just as both sides were at a standstill, Daya-Au and her group arrived by car, quickly armed themselves, and took control of the bridge. A tense standoff ensued, with neither side willing to back down. At that moment, Adi and Ella arrived, with a massive horde of zombies close behind them. Despite their heavy firepower, they couldn't completely stop the zombies. The group had no choice but to fight while retreating. During the chaos, Zenal overheard that Daya-Au had planted explosives on the bridge. As Daya-Au ran past the bomb site, Yosef opened fire on the people behind. Fortunately, Maya dodged the attack and, while running, shot and injured Yosef. As the zombies behind them kept multiplying, Sino decided to let Zenal and the others go ahead while he stayed behind to cover their escape. Sino took out 2 rifles and began spraying bullets at the zombies, but soon ran out of ammo, and he was quickly overwhelmed by the horde. Seeing the large number of zombies coming from behind, Daya-Au didn't hesitate and pressed the detonator. Fortunately, Adi and the others managed to escape the blast zone at the last moment. At that moment, the General Zenal had contacted arrived with his men, and they immediately arrested Daya-Au and Yosef. Thus, with Zenal's actions, Daya-Au became the scapegoat for everything, and all the blame for the logging camp was placed on her. The zombies in the town were quickly eliminated. As they watched Zenal on TV, now hailed as a hero, they couldn't tell whether this was a good or bad outcome. In a hidden laboratory, Zenal held a small vial of liquid extracted from the mysterious flower, raising suspicions about whether he was plotting something sinister.